Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Now let's have a hand for our first speaker, who is Brett.
My name is Brett. I'm an alcoholic. I want to thank Hillary for asking me to come out and share with you. I've got 10 minutes. I'm a little nervous, so bear with me. Basically, I want to talk to you guys about the steps and how a person like me, who is a real alcoholic and was utterly hopeless and unemployable and had been through so much darkness and pain, how is it that I could stand before you today free? And, you know, there were some things that happened to me early on, as I'm sure they have to all of us, but there were some things that I just didn't think I could overcome. And, you know, I was involved in an accident where someone lost their life and alcohol was involved, and I paid a heavy price for that. And that was just one thing that I'll touch on that I was not able to ever imagine being free of. I was introduced to AA in 1992 on an intervention, and was able to stick around here for 5 years. But you might consider that as being dry for 5 years and not sober, because I was not willing to, number one, make amends, period. And I found it necessary to drink again after 5 years, and it was a very difficult task to come back. And I tried and tried and tried and couldn't do it. Ego, pride. And I was able to go to a detox and get sober again and move through that. And I came home and I started going to meetings again. And I was going to this meeting on Saturdays in Santa Monica. Now, I am a very stubborn individual, and I have a hard time trusting people. But I would go to this meeting on Saturdays, and I would sit in the back, and I would hear the solution. Every Saturday I would hear it. And people would approach me, and I would brush them off. I just didn't want to deal with it. But I knew in my heart of hearts, that I was doomed. I knew it was just a matter of time before I drank again. And what happened was I became willing, and I asked someone to take me through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. And, you know, I had worked steps before, but I had always, 1 through 4, made a list of amends, but always skipped 9 and then faked it through 10, 11, and 12. And what I found was, in the years that I'd been around Alcoholics Anonymous, I was never clear at all on step 1. I mean, I could look at my sponsor right in the eye and say, I'm powerless over alcohol, my life is unmanageable, and I would sell that to him, but I didn't know what the heck that meant, truly. So my step 1 experience was a mind blower for me as far as being clear on the phenomenon of craving and what happens to me physically when I take the first drink. Of course, with the obsession of the mind, and talks about a lot of other things, but that experience in step 1 was amazing to me. And I felt a sense of freedom for finally being able to understand what really goes on with me when I ingest alcohol. I moved through 2 and 3, which weren't the easiest steps for me to take. I'd always believed in a power, but I didn't really know what it was. And then I got to step 4. And step 4 was not a enjoyable experience for me. It was really tough. And it took a long time to write it. I was getting physically sick. I lost weight because I was looking at all this stuff. Most importantly, my part in all this stuff. Step 5. I took step 5. It was rough. It was 3 8-hour sessions. I was happy, I was sad, I was crying, I was jealous, I was resentful, I was angry, I was mad, it was a tough deal. But I made it through step 5. Moved through 6 and 7. And then came step 8. Making my list. And I made this a list, and I put all these people's names on 3x5 cards. And what the harm was, and what I needed to do, and so forth. And when it came to step 9, I was terrified. And I didn't want to do it. I started setting appointments, calling these people, asking if I could meet with them face to face and talk about the harm that I'd caused them and if there was anything that I could do to make it right. And of course I was picking the amends that I felt weren't too tough in the beginning. And I was moving through them when I really started to feel a presence of a power other than myself. Because it was not like me to be doing this. And the experiences that I was having with these people was beautiful. And I got blocked, kind of like halfway through my amends. I just kind of put the brakes on it, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it anymore. I picked it back up, and I was going to these people to make it right. And you know, there's a couple of men's stories that I'm going to share with you because they completely changed my life. And they may sound corny to you, but just bear with me. One particular case was a girl that I needed to find from high school. And I could not find her. She had gotten married, moved out of state. I tried to find her parents, the internet. I could not find her. And we're just about ready to let it go. And I think it was the next day. I was in a convenience store in Santa Monica. And it was in a crowded store, and I heard a little voice say, "I know you." And I didn't pay attention. I just played it off. And then the voice came again and said, "I know you." And I looked down, and it was her. And, you know, okay, so that's a coincidence in my mind. It's just a coincidence. Here she is. She's right in front of me. So we exchanged numbers. I didn't make the amends there. We exchanged numbers, and I made the amends later. And, you know, I'm moving through more amends, and it's getting tougher and tougher because I've saved the heavy ones for last. And I was on a date with a young lady way up the coast here, way up the coast, isolated beach. The sun was going down. We were just talking, just getting to know each other, talking about family and stuff like this. And I had what I felt was a heavy amends to make to a family member, but I couldn't find this person. They had been in Europe, and, you know, it was difficult. And I was sharing the story with her. And this is an isolated beach, secluded, nobody around, no parking lots. And all of a sudden there's this little dog running down the beach dragging a leash around its neck, and there's nobody in sight, and it starts playing with us, and the sun's going down, and it's romantic, and it's nice, and this dog's running around, and I couldn't figure out whose dog this was. There was nobody around. And about 5-10 minutes later, this man starts walking down the cliff down to the beach, and it was him. And when that happened to me, I said, okay, I get it. And it makes me shake standing up here thinking about it because it was just amazing. So, again, exchanged numbers there and moved through it. And then working 10, 11, and 12 on a daily basis. Now, you know, right now in this moment today, I'm having a hard time. I have been for the past couple months. I've been up against it. But I know what to do. And the miracle is, for all of us, I believe, is that we can go through tough times in sobriety. We can hit walls and not be obsessed with alcohol and not be obsessed with a drink. And I'm very grateful for that. You know, I have so much to share, but I know I only have like 2 minutes left. But for someone like me, the alcoholic of my type, to be in front of all of you at a meeting sharing my story with you is truly amazing. And, you know, all in all, I'm a very lucky guy. And I'm aware of that. But for someone like me, the point I'd really like to get across to anyone who's new is that, for me, I need to do more. Going to meetings and getting a commitment is great stuff. But for me, it wasn't enough. Because I couldn't be free of what was blocking me. And, you know, there is hope here. There is hope. And that's it. So thanks very much for letting me share.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think. Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop. out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.